What's up, everybody? It's J and J with Justin and Jordan. What we got today, Justin?
Talking about NBA free agency. Yes, the time is here. This is when all the crazy moments in the league happen. The part we look forward to most. But yeah, there's a lot of storylines to be talked about. But we're gonna get into it.
So how about we go through, because I know we know all like the big money moves and all that. Let's talk about kind of like your favorite and least favorite signings. Like, how do you want to start off with? You want to start off by being a hater, or you want to appreciate some of the signings first?
We could appreciate some of the signings first.
All right. So who were some of like your favorite signings throughout this whole free agency so far?
You want to go back and forth, or you want me to list every?
We could go back and forth.
Yeah, I think
I'd rather go verse for verse.
Yeah, I'd rather go back and forth. So one of my favorite signings was Gabe Vincent to the Lakers. What was it? 3 years, 33 mil.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little steal right there. That was a great pickup for the Lakers. You basically replaced Dennis Schroeder because he got out of there, and now you add a guy who this whole playoff run hitting big shots, one of the pivotal pieces for the Miami Heat team, and now you add him to the Lakers with LeBron and AD, and everything that they got going right now. That's a great piece for them to add. Whether he's starting or coming off the bench, he's going to be able to contribute either way. He's a pretty good playmaker. He's a knockdown shooter. I could tell you that myself. I watched him hit so many shots, and I was like, how the fuck is that going in? But now for the Lakers to get him on a really good deal, I think that's a win for them.
I'll even go bar for bar and match for you, because what I had down is the whole Lakers offseason so far.
Yeah.
Because really, they just kept Rui. They kept Austin Reeves. They kept D'Lo. And honestly, I thought they were only going to be limited to keep 2 of the 3. But guess what? They kept all 3 of them, and they added Gabe Vincent. I think they're really prepping up for a championship right now for next season, because this is a damn good squad right now. Austin Reeves is only getting better. Got him on a good team-friendly deal. Rui Hachimura, as we saw, played pretty damn good in the playoffs in the second half. D'Lo, I mean, he's not expensive by today's NBA standards. Like $18 million at this point is nothing, which is crazy to me. $18 million is poverty change now. But you get to keep all 3. As you said, you get a deadly shooter in Gabe Vincent, someone with playoff experience. And I think this is really going to be a core that's ramping up for a finals contention next season.
Yep, and they got Torian Prince.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Lakers all season. But we could do Snake right now. I'm going to bring some bias into the show. I'm always going to bring bias when the chance is available. DiVincenzo to the Knicks. Got all the Villanova boys back together. Got another guy that hustles a lot. And I'm not even saying as a joke this time. I'm saying like for real, another guy that hustles a lot. We're going to have some defense. This is a real Thibs guy right here. Right now, we're kind of building to be like a really damn good team, like a all-around good team, instead of going star, let's jump at, for example, we got 2 big pieces that are available right now for trade. We're going to talk about them later, of course. But instead of going all in on them, trading everything for them, guess what? We're picking up another good piece that's a rotation piece, and he's really going to help us win.
Nah, yeah, the DiVincenzo, that was a good move. I know we had to get Obi Toppin out of there, free up space for him. Obi Toppin, it was a fun ride. But now I think you're going to have some fun in Indiana with Tyrese Halliburton. But, yeah, this Dante DiVincenzo move, we get the Nova boys together. We're just missing Mikal. But I like this move. I think this makes us, we're just adding on and doubling down to what we did last year and just getting a group of scrappy guys that can compete and have high IQ. But, yeah, you could always bet on Nova guys, always play the right way. Just like how people say with the Kentucky guards. But I think this is going to fit very well. This is going to add to our depth that we needed in the playoffs that we relied on and we didn't really get in that Miami series. So I'm happy that we got Dante DiVincenzo. And for my next favorite signing, I'm not going to say it's my favorite, but I like this one. It was Joe Ingles to the Magic. 2 years. 22 mil.
Joe Ingles is cool, but can you kind of explain that? Because out of all the signings, Joe Ingles is one of your favorite?
Nah, I'm not. That's why I said, and I was like, this isn't my favorite, but I liked it. I just liked it because the Magic need shooting. They need shooting very badly. They get a vet that could space the floor. He could also get it off the dribble. We've seen it in his days with Utah. We've seen it. So he's also a vet. He's gonna be there to set the tone for the young guys. They're gonna need a guy like that when they're lacking a lot in spacing. You just drafted Anthony Black, who has shooting questions. Paolo ended the season struggling shooting. You also have Wendell Carter, who doesn't space the floor. So to get another guy in there that could just stretch the floor out and then create space, to create buckets in the half court when things are slowing down, that's a big key for them. Especially, this is a team that's young and they're up and coming. They're on the rise. It's always important to have a vet or two in the locker room, or just to lead by example, instead of just letting the young guys just run amok and do whatever the hell and just create bad habits. So it's a good thing for them to have a guy like that just to be in there, and it's a good like floor thing for them, but it's also gonna let their guys develop. It doesn't really get in the way of everybody developing.
No, 100%. Vets are very important. I hope the NBA teams are taking vets more seriously, as we've seen in the past couple of years. They're kind of casting away the vets. We've seen NBA players talk about it on podcasts. We've seen analysts talk about it. Like, the vet is kind of fading away, but Joe Ingles is going to be a really good signing for the Magic, veteran presence. Even, let's say he doesn't perform as well, at least we have that veteran presence, that guy who is experienced in the playoffs, brings some playoff experience to the team, and mentor guys like Paolo and Franz. So I guess since we're going to talk about vets a little bit, which one of the two do I want to go with first? Let's go with Jeff Green to the Rockets first. I'll name my other guy later. Again, talking more about vets. Will his performance be all the way there? Most likely not. He's not going to be like a big contributor. But it's a vet. It's a vet that needs to mentor these guys, that needs mentorship badly. These guys are really going to need a lot of mentorship at this point. The more vets, the better. And the Rockets also made a couple other signings, but Jeff Green was a really damn good signing. You're bringing in a champion. Yes, he's like 37, 38 years old, but guess what? Champion, lots of playoff experience, lots of finals experience. This wasn't his first finals that he's been to. He went to the finals with the Cavs as well, So I think there's going to be a good signing to mentor Jalen Green, to mentor Şengün, to mention all the young guys. So at this point, I think, with Jeff Green on the roster, you're going to hit that other level that I've been waiting for the Rockets to do. Hopefully they could kind of hit that next level next season.
No, yeah, that's one I didn't even really think about. But for my other signing, it really, even with or without the moves that are impending for this team, I still like it for them. And that's Patrick Beverley to the Sixers.
Oh, I love that.
I really like that move, because now you're bringing in Nick Nurse. I know we have your questions with Harden and whatnot, but regardless if he stays or if they trade him, this is a good move for them. So now you're bringing in a defensive-minded coach. We've seen it. Won Coach of the Year his first year. Won a championship his first year as a head coach. And now imagine having him and PJ Tucker out there with Embiid. That's just going to be disgusting. It's going to be a lot of shit talking. It's going to be very gritty, very Philly. So for Philly, I really like this move. You get to... I know they want to keep Embiid there, keep Maxey, keep them as a duo. Tobias Harris is in talks about being traded, but even then, with this core, you could still get done. I have a lot of faith in Maxey that he could take that development into another key piece. I think he could be an all-star, but it'll be tough. But I think he could be like in that borderline tier of like
almost there.
Yeah, like the teetering, almost there. I really have faith in his skill set. Joel Embiid, we all know, as much as we clown him, he is a 30-point per game scorer. But yeah, that is gonna be good for them. Getting those gritty guys in there. And this, to me, this has to be, I'm not gonna say championship or bust, but you need to make significant strides this year.
Yeah, I love Patrick Beverley as a player. He's one of my favorite players of all time. One kind of like those random players. A guy I try to aspire to play like, as you know him more, you know it better than anybody. I always try to play like Pat Bev, pesky defender, and I just love whenever any playoff team takes a chance on him, because more times than not, like, you're guaranteed a playoff appearance. And and most of the time it's because of not just like his on-court contributions, but what he brings to the locker room. And like you said, this is a very Philly pickup. You got the grit, you got the vet presence, you got like that fierceness, you got that pit bull on your squad right now. The guy's gonna back up Joel Embiid whenever he has to, because he backs up his guys.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says about Pat Bev. He's dirty, whatever. He's not that good. He's overrated as a defender. He's always gonna back up your guys, no matter what. And we've seen it time and time and time again. We've seen it like a dozen times. And that's just a guy that you need on your roster all the time, you know? So another guy that I really loved, we're going to stick with vets again. I got 2 more picks, but we're going to stick with vets again. D Rose to the Grizzlies. Now, as we saw with the Knicks, last year wasn't as stellar as his other Knick years, but this isn't about play on the court. This is about veteran presence. We've seen Derrick Rose early on in his career. He kind of had controversies regarding gangs, Chicago born, everything. There was an article about him throwing up gang signs and stuff. He cut that out immediately, right? He did have another controversy that we're not going to talk about, but regarding gangs, he cut that out immediately. Says, I don't promote gang violence, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully this is what Ja Morant needs to really like chill out, you know? If anything, you know, Derrick Rose could come off the bench, average 2 points for you. If he's calming down Ja Morant, I swear on everything, that's one of the best signings of the offseason. Anything to keep Ja out of trouble is one of the best, you know, moves of the offseason. Not that he's going to be able to mentor him. Sure, it seems like Ja Morant's already as good as he can be, but when you're learning from a guy who had that similar archetype to you, you're going to only improve. Because we've said it multiple times, you know, Ja Morant is, you know, he's like another D Rose. He's like a young D Rose. Let him learn from D Rose. Maybe learn from D Rose's experience how to land properly, because Ja Morant be landing reckless as well.
Yeah.
Maybe D Rose could teach him, like, look, there's going to be the proper way to land. You don't want to end up like me, right? So I think there's going to be a really good move for the Grizzlies because of, you know, mentorship for Ja Morant.
Nah, yeah, when I saw D Rose to the Grizzlies, I was happy at first. Yeah, you bring in, like you said, I never really thought about that mentorship role he would have for Ja. I more so thought about Ja missing that time and Marcus Smart and him just filling that void while he's gone. But yeah, that's something I overlooked when Ja comes back. Just him being that leader for him, that mentor. That's something I didn't really take into account, but it is a really good signing. I will be a honorary Grizzlies fan for the season as long as D Rose is playing. Only when he's in the game. When he's not in the game, I will not be rooting for them. But I feel like he's only gonna play when Ja's not there. I think once Ja comes back, he's just gonna go back to just chilling on the bench. But yeah, this signing it was good. It was good for them just to keep Ja in check. I don't think D Rose is the type of guy that's an enforcer like Marcus Smart, but it's good to have both of them. You basically have the best of both worlds. You got Marcus Smart that will get in your face and tell you when you're fucking up, and you got Derrick Rose who basically he's lived this shit. He's living what you portray, what you think you are.
He's lived the real shit. That's
yeah,
what you mean.
he's
say straight up. He lived the real life that Ja Morant want to pretend that he lived.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
Derrick Rose is living proof of what Ja Morant wants to be. So he could literally sit him down and tell him all the rights and wrongs of his career, of his non-basketball career, everything, that all the goods and bads. So to make that signing for me, that's a good signing for them, and it just shows you that we have faith that Ja could cut all the bullshit out, hopefully, and focus on basketball. But my other good signing, my other fave signing, was Dallas Mavericks bringing back Seth Curry.
Oh. I thought you were gonna say Kyrie Irving. All right, sure.
Okay, Curry. I mean that's an easy one because they had to do it. They had no other choice. But yeah, Dallas bringing back Seth Curry, because I remember when they let him go initially, I was like, bro, why? Because I remember him hooping in the bubble, him scoring on Paul George and calling him a bitch. Like I remember those days.
I love that moment.
I'm like, bro, he's literally one. Like he was literally one of their best players in the bubble. Like I think it was probably Luka, Kristaps, and then Seth Curry.
And and he's done it also for Philly.
Yeah, and he's done it for
a lot of teams. But I'll say this: the Seth Curry thing, it might be good, but let's not forget, like, hopefully last season was an anomaly, but maybe he's just getting older because last season he wasn't really on shit. You feel me? But hopefully with Luka, he is much better.
Nah, but to me, he's one of those guys. I feel like he's just like, you know what you're gonna get with him. It's kind of like a safe thing. Teams always like, every time I see a team, they make a trade and they're like, we're just gonna give up Seth Curry. Like, I'm like, damn, man, he's a guy that I would kind of want to hold on to, like, kind of like how we're seeing with Landry Shamet. But I think Seth Curry is better than Landry Shamet, way better. But yeah, same thing with Philly when they went to go get Harden, they threw Seth Curry right in that Brooklyn trade. I was like, this is a guy I want to hold on to. But when Dallas got rid of him that first time, I was like, this is stupid, because they got rid of him for Josh Richardson, and he's a guy who don't space the floor at all. I know people like to say, oh, Seth Curry don't play defense, what the fuck, but shit, I'd rather have Seth Curry shooting and no defense and his creation, because he's not just a straight shooter. He can work in the pick and roll with whoever your big is, and we saw it in Philly, the pick and rolls with him and Embiid, and he was getting his shots off. He's a very creative creator. But yeah, they got rid of him for Josh Richardson, who's a better defender, but offensively he's very inconsistent. So you're gonna have some nights where he's just running out there and he's not doing shit. So I like that they got him back and they added on to this team offensively. They still got questions, but we'll see what Dallas looks like with a full season of Kyrie and Luka.
I will say this about Seth Curry before I go to my last pick. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but his performance kind of depends on like the talent around him. Like, I don't know how it makes sense, because it doesn't have to do with like creation, for example, right? But I feel like he plays up depending on who he's playing with. So as we saw at Brooklyn, like he wasn't really on shit because he's not surrounded by stars, but he plays off of stars so well. He has his best years playing with stars, playing with Embiid. He was a monster. 15 points from Seth Curry. Who really expects that? Nobody, really, to be honest with you. He played really good with the Mavs.
He was probably their second best player in that Hawks series.
Jesus. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to fucking talk about it, bro. Jeez. But yeah, he was definitely the second best player, way better than Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons by mass. But yeah, so the last guy I'm gonna go with, it's gonna be Bruce Brown. So some people might think that the contract might be a little bit steep, but at this point, like I said earlier, there's just NBA money at this point. $20 million is nothing, bro. The best players are making, like, not even the best players. You got decent players like Cat that are going to soon make $60 million a year. So I think Bruce Brown's going to bring something different to the Pacers. The Pacers overall had a pretty damn good offseason so far. And we just started. Re-signing Tyrese. You just got Obi. They've made a lot of moves, bro. They had a good draft. They made a lot of moves. Bruce Brown is another key point in a really good offseason. Talking about a guy who's had playoff experience for the past 3 years. He's played with stars. Hopefully he can mentor Tyrese Halliburton. Maybe, it sounds crazy, maybe teach him a couple things about playoff experience. He's a champion. You're bringing in a defender. You're bringing around an all-around good player. I think he's going to do really damn well on the Pacers. And I think this is going to elevate the Pacers kind of into like that upper playing, like lower guaranteed playoff kind of like seeding. I could see it as being a 7 or 8 seed right now, currently. I don't want to overhype something. Maybe something else happens so far like later on in the off season, but right now, I don't see why this team can't be a 7 or 8 seed right now.
Not yet. When initially when this move was made, I was like, I'm booking Indiana as the 9th seed right now. I'm booking them right away. I just believe so much in Halliburton's talent and ability. This team is gonna be. They got some shit cooking up right now. And now getting Bruce Brown in there into that locker room, this is well deserved for him. This is a guy you could see that role guys are being valued even more now in today's NBA, and he's being rewarded for that. And he's gonna be a guy that comes into this locker room as a different element. You've seen it basically every stop he's been on. When he was on Detroit, you saw flashes. When he was on Brooklyn, he was pesky as fuck. He was one of the key guys like that kept them in games. And then you saw it this past season with Denver. He made a lot of big plays, especially in the finals, that really capitalized all their wins and stuff. But for Indiana to get him, I know people like to say, oh, you guys paid him too much. If they think this is their guy who's gonna change shit, I just say why not? Because Indiana is not a free agent destination.
Definitely not.
So they're gonna have to spend a little bit more money, or they're gonna have to make those risky trades. You put faith in a guy who spent a little bit extra money, but this is a guy who's not gonna clash with your stars. He's only gonna add to it. He's gonna add to your locker room. He's gonna make them big plays. Be a veteran. Get these guys. Hold them accountable. And I think Indiana, I'm gonna stamp them for playing. They're definitely gonna be a playing team.
It's funny you say about Indiana not being a free agent destination. Now let's be real. Who was the last big Indiana free agency signing? Because me thinking about it right now, I'm trying to think. I think it was that nigga Monte Ellis. And
Wait, he's like
yeah, you don't remember that? He was a Pacer for a year. He left the Mavs and became
I
a Pacer.
remember he was there, but I don't remember.
I think it was a signing. I don't think it was a trade. So it's and Monte Ellis is one of my favorite players of all time. I don't even know if you know that. That's one of my 5 favorite players ever. But that's their last big signing, unless I'm missing somebody huge, you know? So if they could build this kind of
I don't remember if Chris Mullin signed there or if he was traded.
Yeah, but that was 30
way
years ago. I'm talking about
way
the
back.
last one, you feel me? The last one.
That had to be a trade.
So 100%. So this is kind of the way teams like the Pacers and the Jazz have to build their teams. You know, you got to get decent all-around guys and kind of trade for stars or trade for younger guys who become stars. That's kind of the way these teams have to work out. So it's definitely a good move. So moving on, I think you're more of an appreciator. I'm more of a hater. Definitely, I'm more of a hater. I'm going to talk about the signings that I really don't like the most. Starting with Dylan Brooks to the Rockets. Seriously. Why? Why? You're building something good, and then it's you're baking a cake, right? You got your eggs. You got the best eggs. You get eggs straight from the farm. Getting milk straight from the farm. You got everything. And for some reason, you throw dog shit in the batter. For what? You don't need Dylan Brooks. You got your guys. You got your vets, bro, to mentor these guys. Why are we giving him a shot over Cam Whitmore? Explain to me, bro. Why are we putting a guy to take away shots from Jalen Green, Şengün, even Fred at this point? Might talk about Fred later. I still didn't make up my mind. Şengün, Fred, Jalen Green, Cam, taking minutes away from Cam, Amen Thompson. I don't know what Houston is trying to do with this move. Definitely not for vet. It's definitely not for vet mentorship because he doesn't hold his guys accountable, and he doesn't even hold himself accountable. And it's definitely not because of ability. I'll tell you right now. I guess defense, but when it comes to his defense, you're taking that, but you're also what comes with his good defense is terrible offense. That's gonna shoot you out the game. So that's definitely my first hater pick so far.
Nah, yeah, Dylan Brooks. I wasn't really a fan of the signing. I think this move was just made because Houston just had a lot of money, and they had to go out and spend some portion of that money just so, because it's not going to carry over into next year.
No, of course not.
So you got your big signing, Fred VanVleet. You offloaded Kenyon Martin Jr. And you bring in Dylan Brooks. Like you said, I don't see him being a vet leader. Maybe with Ime there, he could kind of hold Dylan Brooks accountable and kind of get on him and be like, yo, cut the foolery, and I need you to be an extension of me on the floor with these guys. Because I know I'm the coach, they're probably going to look at me a certain way, but you're a player, so they might actually listen to you in some ways that I can't reach them. So he's probably going to look at him like that to be like that key guy. So I guess if Ime plays his cards right and pushes the right buttons, he could get the best out of Dylan Brooks. But I'm not really going into this thinking, oh yeah, he's there to be a mentor for these guys, because we've never seen it. Dylan Brooks was drafted in 2017. He's not a new guy, but I don't really look at him as a super vet. So he's kind of just teetering. He was in the same draft class as Jason Tatum.
Yeah, it's kind of productive, bro.
Yeah. And also, I don't really like it, in the sense of he'll be taking minutes away from, like you said, Cam Whitmore, Tari Eason, Like, these are guys that, like, you want to develop these guys. And it's going to be tough to have a guy like Dylan Brooks who's making this much money just on the bench.
You have to play him.
You have to play him.
Unfortunately, you got to start him.
Yeah, you're going to have to start him. But, yeah, I don't like it in the sense of development, because I would really love to see what year 2 Tari Eason looks like. See more Jay Sean Tate. And I want to see Cam Whitmore get his reps in. I think for Amen Thompson, I don't think this really affects him like that. I think
shots though.
Shots, yeah, but I think that's also a Ime has to get on him. Like, yo, you're not that guy.
Is
like,
he gonna listen though? This is kind of like my problem with this. Yeah, like we're saying, like, oh, Jalen Green is still gonna get like his 18 shots. Amen's still gonna get his shots, whatever. Shingun already last year wasn't really getting his shots. Bringing in a guy who, for whatever reason, thinks that he's good enough to take 13, 14 shots and miss like 8 of them. Miss like 9, 10 of them for whatever reason. Most of them being threes that aren't going to go in.
That's why you have to sit him down before the season and be like, yo, we just want you to be just be you minus like 7 shots a game. And none of the fucking talking, like the extra talking, like to add, like no bulletin board material. We just want you to be there, lead by example in practice. We just want you to do that. Don't put on this fucking persona and you put a target on all our backs, because at the end of the day, we are a developing team. This is a rebuilding team. Sure, you could go do that shit at a fucking, if you want to go do that shit on a contender, sure, but you'll see who's gonna actually put up with that shit. You do that shit on Denver, Jokic will probably be like, he probably won't even say this shit directly. He'll be like, get the fuck out my team. You do that shit on the Lakers, LeBron will be like, nope, get out.
LeBron would even let him step into the practice facility.
Nah, yeah. I feel like no team's condoning that shit. Maybe Miami, but Pat Riley is like, yo, cut the foolery. You could we like you because we're winning games and you're doing this shit, but it gets to a point where like all that shit is just like, it's just a distraction. So
I don't think you could fix him, bro. Because now you say Miami, I don't even think Miami could fix him. I think
he'd be good on Miami if you just cut the shots down. Like,
can he do that? I don't know if any team can do that. That's my point.
I think Miami would have been the best spot for him, because like he could literally do the same shit as long as he took like 7 less shots a game. I'd be okay with him in Miami doing all the walking out the tunnel. Like,
bullshit. Yeah. I don't even think that he will be doing that shit. They just walking out regular.
With Haslam there, Haslam would get in his fucking face.
Is that nigga still gonna be there?
Not playing, but I feel like he'll still be around.
I was about to say he's done.
I feel like Haslam's the type of guy, like, he's not even on the team, but he's still pulling up to practice with a cup of coffee, and he's still coaching.
Is he gonna be a coach?
I don't know,
because I know I feel like he retired. He had his 20 points. He had his alley oop. Finally, he completed his alley oop. I remember Tyler Hero threw him in the alley oop.
I feel like
bust his ass, but nah, yeah. If he's gonna coach, or like you said, like Dirk just when he first started before he had an official title, he was just walking around, helping out the guys and all that. So yeah, maybe you're right, but like I said, I don't know if Dylan Brooks is really fixable. To be completely honest with you. So what about one of your least favorite signings?
Man, my least favorite signing was Jeremy Grant, Portland Trailblazers. 100%. For Jeremy Grant himself, you are a winner. Just to get that type of money in the NBA, and your story, coming out of Syracuse, being a second-round pick, and just developing over time. Like, you were a role guy. You was in the trust the process Philly days. Went to OKC with Russ, MVP year. Went to Denver, was a key part for that team when they went to the WCF. Then went to Detroit, showed off your offensive skill set, and you basically showed all sides of your game. For you personally, this is a win.
100%.
But for Portland as a franchise, this is a fucking L. I don't know what. I guess you're throwing all these signals like you want to keep Dame. You're looking at trades, and then during draft night when you made the Scoot selection, we all thought, all right, Dame is out of here. But then reports came out, oh, we want to build around Dame. We're not going to let Scoot go. We're going to keep him. So, all right, if your first move after that was to give fucking Jeremy Grant a big-ass contract, you're already moving 2 steps back. Because now that's like all your money at that point. You guys probably weren't going to bring shit in anyway. You're just wasting Dame's time at that point. I feel like either Dame saw that shit and said, all right, I'm out, or he probably pushed it and was like, yeah, I'll stay. Just pay him. I feel like it was one or the other. But yeah, because this just shows me, like, what are you trying to do? Because, like, you should be rebuilding. You shouldn't be overthinking this. You drafted Scoot Henderson. You still have Anthony Simons. You still have Shaden Sharp. You got guys like, yeah, you still got those guys. You should be focused on rebuilding. Jeremy Grant, he is what, like 28, 29?
Yeah, he's starting to get a little bit up there.
Yeah, at the end of this deal, he'll probably be what, like 32, 33. He doesn't really fit the timeline for this. I guess you could see in a year how his production is and maybe flip him, get rid of that contract. But I didn't like this move at all. I feel like you should just commit to the rebuild. Don't even think. You might as well get off a Dame, see what you could get back. Get off a Grant, see what you could get back, and whatever you could get the fuck back for Nurkic, whatever value he has left, just do that. Just commit to the rebuild. You just gotta embrace at this point, because all you're doing is just shooting yourselves in the foot. Because you saw what it was. You saw the ceiling with Dame and CJ. You saw that. You don't want to hold yourself back again doing stupid moves like this. So yeah, for Portland, this is a L move. For Jeremy Grant, this is a W. I want to reiterate that. But yeah.
No, I know exactly what you mean. He's been grinding. He started from the bottom. He's all the way up here now. He got his money.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely gonna be a guy that's gonna hinder the productions of Scoot, Simons, and Shaden Sharp.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be kind of more of a hindrance in the rebuild. Talking about flipping him, I don't know where he goes, man. That's the only problem. It's gonna kind of be like a albatross. You're gonna have to deal with that for like another 2 years until that contract becomes a little bit more movable.
Yeah.
So my next pick isn't really about ability. It's kind of about like what's going on. You feel me? I'm like iffy. I'm gonna let the Fred. I had Fred here. I'm gonna let that pass because it's not as bad as some of the other ones. It's like it's okay, but Miles Bridges, it's coming back to the league. Like I said, it's nothing about ability, and it's definitely has nothing to do with his past, him as a person. It's more like, what does this mean for Brandon Miller and PJ Washington? As that's going to be minutes taken away from either one of them. And Miles Bridges is good enough for him to have some minutes. Remember the last time we saw him, that's a 20 point per game guy, right? With defense, who was constantly improving. Remember, he was in contention for most improved player of the year that year. But right now you're bringing him back after signing Brandon Miller. Well, not signing, drafting Brandon Miller, right? You're about to re-sign PJ. Who's losing the minutes? That's what I want to know. Who's going to lose the minutes? Because these are 3 guys that definitely deserve those minutes, and they all can't really start at the same time unless you want PJ small ball 5. But what about Mark? Mark is a really damn good player for Charlotte too. So at this point, I don't know how I feel about the signing, but right now I feel a little bit kind of iffy on it right now.
Nah, yeah. Miles Bridges, I didn't really think too much about that signing. But yeah, like you said, it is going to raise into question, what is that going to mean for Brandon Miller and PJ Washington? Because you do want Brandon Miller to go out there and get his reps with LaMelo and with the team. Miles Bridges, I feel like you should have just traded him, because now it just brings this dark cloud on the franchise, on the team. I feel like you should have just cut ties with him, let him get his fresh start, just wipe your hands with Miles Bridges and just start fresh. But now it's just going to be like, it's going to be kind of weird now, because now he's just going to be walking back in. You got to acclimate him into the team again. And yeah, it's going to be weird. I guess it could maybe work. I guess if this is going to be the move, maybe PJ Washington goes back to the bench. I don't know. Or maybe they're like, nah, motherfucker, you did what you did, so, and I earned my spot while you was gone. So we'll see how that goes. It's only a 1-year deal, right?
I believe so. Yeah, it's the QL.
So I guess they'll just see how it goes. He'll just play. just play it out and see how it goes. If he's playing really well, maybe they move him for something, for some assets. If not, they'll just be like, hey, it was fun. We had some good memories. You jumped out the gym, caught some lobs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like, I don't think Charlotte's going in like thinking, oh yeah, we gotta pick up where we left off with LaMelo and Miles Bridges. I think he kind of just messed up his opportunity. They're giving him another chance, but we'll see how it goes. I think they're just gonna be prioritizing LaMelo, Brandon Miller, and all their guys. This is just a move, just to keep things rolling, I guess.
Yeah, maybe that's kind of a piece that you flip, later on.
Yeah,
because I think a lot of teams could really value him. So my least favorite signing, I'm gonna keep this really quick. Kyle Kuzma.
Wow.
Just because I don't like that nigga. we can move on now. We can move on to the trade rumors.
Oh wait. I got one more that I dislike and one that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Pause. My other one that I dislike was Cleveland bringing back Karis LeVert.
Terrible.
Because Cleveland, I don't know. I was watching the game. I don't know what I was watching, but he was horrible. He was not doing shit out there. Like
horrible in the playoffs.
Yeah,
against
like
my Knicks.
Yeah, he was horrible. Yeah, against the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Like we like to make jokes. I don't like to make jokes, but y'all like to make jokes that we're the worst franchise ever. If he couldn't do shit against us, my brother, like, what are you doing? Yeah, just bringing him back. I like the Max Drew signing still has to grow on me, but I think it was much needed. You guys need spacing. The Georges Niang signing too, that was pretty good. You add more floor spacing for you guys. But the one thing I was saying during the playoff series, literally at the start of this podcast, I was saying Cleveland needs a wing. Isaac Okoro, good defender, can't hit shots. Karis LeVert, good offensive player, not good on defense. But then you have nights where Karis LeVert is literally a 0 on offense. So he's literally just running out there.
He's getting cardio in.
Yeah, he's just getting cardio. Like, I think game 1, he was 0 for like 5. And he's getting cooked. So, like, he's literally just running out there. And the same thing with Isaac Okoro. If he's not locking up one of the guys and he's not hitting corner threes, he's literally just running up and down. And we saw Jared Allen was having problems with Mitchell Robinson. So it was literally just Darius Garland doing his thing out there because Donovan Mitchell, outside of game 1,
he wasn't on shit.
He was a shell of himself. So Cleveland, I think they need a wing. I'm not saying go out there and get fucking Jason Tatum, but I'm saying you need I feel like a OG Anunoby type of guy for them would be really good.
Wait, what about Miles Bridges, who we just talked about?
If they want to take that risk,
bring on Miles Bridges. I don't know what you give up for that.
But I feel like
just thought about
they need like a do-it-all wing that's kind of like he can hit threes, cut, doesn't really need the ball to score. I guess Miles Bridges is that, but like...
And defense too. He got the
defense and also a guy that can sort of play make.
That's what he's missing.
Yeah,
playmaking and ball handling. That's what he's missing. But everything else that you said, he can make a couple threes. He's athletic. He plays defense. He rebounds. He got all that. I guess if you really need the playmaking that badly, sure, just look over him. But besides that,
I mean,
I would want him on Cleveland.
He don't have to be a playmaker, but he got to be able to make the right reads, be able to attack, hit open cutters, hit bigs, hit shooters on attacking drives. I feel like that would be really valuable because that's the one thing of Miles Bridges' games that he's kind of lacking in. But yeah, like an OG Anunoby type for them would be really good. Maybe you took a chance with Imoni Bates in the draft. We'll see, but he's more of a scoring wing. He's not really like a do-it-all wing, but we'll see. Maybe JB Bickerstaff kind of molds them into the player they want to be. But yeah, that was the Karis LeVert was not really. That's not where I wanted to go. And the one signing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Say what you guys want. I know people probably say, "Oh, he deserves it. He's the guy for them." But Draymond Green getting his bag after he slapped the shit out of Jordan.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem.
It's not that I hate the signing, but it kind of rubbed me the wrong way because it was just like, Yo, this motherfucker gets away with everything.
It's 100% enabling.
Yeah.
But at this point, like through the Warriors' perspective,
Yeah.
the man, he's earned it more than Clay.
Yeah.
So it's like, he has to stay.
I understand why the Warriors did it, but just as a fan, and just like me being me, I'm like, damn, y'all really let him get away with everything. Cause if you look at it just from the outside looking in, it's like, yo, he really punched Jordan Poole. Then y'all traded Jordan Poole just to free up money to give him his big contract extension. I'm like, damn. So it's like the guy that got punched in the face, it was just like, fuck you, get the fuck out.
I don't like it either, but I can't lie. That's kind of gangster. I can't lie. And it's kind of like, as long as you're not fucking with Steph and Clay, you can do whatever you want. He could punch Wiggins next week.
Oh yeah.
Wiggins gonna be. Oh nah, yeah.
Door. If you punch Steph, nigga, you going to China.
Yeah, but he could punch Wiggins right now. Wiggins goes to like Charlotte or something. It don't matter.
It just shows you how much fucking like stain he got.
He got a lot of stain in the Warriors. Well, when you win 4 championships,
I mean, obviously, yeah. He deserves it. He deserves it. I was just me being me. I was like, damn. Like I was kind of just putting myself in Jordan Poole's shoes. I'm like, damn.
I'd be pissed.
Fuck these niggas. But yeah, for the Warriors, yeah, you do what you got to do. You bring him back. You don't want to let him go. But yeah. That was just my take on that shit.
Nah, I agree with you. So let's move kind of into some trade rumors. I understand Harden's like, he's the big headline, but just Philly overall, because Tobias Harris is going to get out of there too.
Yeah.
So we got Harden possibly on the way out. Tobias Harris is all but out. And at this point, it's kind of looking like, let's talk a little bit more about Harden though. It's looking like it's the Clippers, the Knicks, and a couple other teams that are kind of just in like the revolving news. I'll be real with you. We're not getting Harden, and I hope we don't get Harden. It makes no sense for us, and it makes no sense for them, the pieces that we would give up, right? I feel like this is definitely a Clipper player right here, where they're just like collecting all the former superstars that were at their peaks like 5 years ago. It's not that they're not good anymore. Like they're still pretty damn good. But it's like they're just collecting all these former superstars, these former MVP tier players. But I just don't know what the Clippers would give up for Harden that Philly wants. And in my honest opinion, if Tobias Harris goes, they could retool. If Harden goes, I would not be surprised if Embiid is on the trade market. Seriously, I would not be surprised if he's like, because he loves Harden. He loves playing with Harden. I would not be surprised if the day after Harden leaves, Embiid is like, I'm out. I can't take it anymore. I'm out. I'm not going to be here for a rebuild. I'm trying to contend for championships. I would not be surprised if Embiid is off the Sixers by the end of the summer before the season starts if Harden is gone. I'll say that much.
Man, I was telling Philly, man, after y'all lost to Boston, I was saying, blow it up.
Mm-hmm.
Just blow it up. The inevitable is happening. We're seeing it now. James Harden said, fuck that. I mean, it had really nothing to do with the winning aspect. It was more so he wasn't going to get his money. I'm guessing something was happening behind closed doors because we saw last year he took less money to bring in PJ Tucker, and they lost a second round pick for that this year. But yeah, we saw him take less money to bring in PJ Tucker. So maybe something was said behind closed doors. We'd hook you up next year, and I'm guessing that's not the case now. And I guess he was flirting with Houston because they would give him his shit, but now they're kind of like, I think with Ime there, they're like, we're not really thinking about that. We're kind of more focused on the rebuild. So now he's kind of just like, all right, fuck it, I'm picking up my option, and I want to trade. So he wants to get his money somewhere else. And yeah, I was telling Philly, I'm like, bro, it's time to blow it up now. Because the writing's on the wall now. Loss after loss every year. James Harden's asking for a trade out now. Even when this trade gets done, I feel like you're not going to get better after the trade. 100%. You're only going to be worse than what you were last year. And another year of disappointment. Yeah, I know I was talking about Maxey earlier, taking a little bit of a leap. But realistically, what is a duo of Tyrese Maxey and Embiid without Tobias Harris gonna do in the Eastern Conference? To me, they're a little thin. If he goes to the Clippers, yeah, I don't want him on the Knicks either. If we could get him for cheap, I'd be okay with it. But
I still don't want him, bro.
But like, if we gotta give up a chunk of shit, I'm good. But like, I kind of like how the Knicks are moving now. We're not being too aggressive. We're kind of just playing it safe. And I think we're doing shit where we'll still be in the mix. For the Clippers, I don't know what the deal is. I've heard some people say, oh, throw Paul George in there. Some people say throw Terrence Mann, Norman Powell in there. I mean, Philly with Paul George, I guess you could throw them in the mix. But like, it's two guys, Embiid who has injury history, Paul George who got injury history.
Chokers.
So they're not really reliable. And then with Norman Powell and Terrence Mann, two good players, two solid players, but like, that's not really moving the needle for me. Like, if I see Tyrese, Norman Powell, Terrence Mann, fucking whoever's that for, and Embiid, like, that shit doesn't scare me. Like, I really think right now, like, going into next season, I don't think Philly's gonna be like one of them guys. They may get some wins, but like, I'm not really like scared of Philly. Like,
but is Embiid gone?
I don't think he'll be gone. Not this season. I don't think he'll be gone, or this upcoming season. I think he'll still be on the team, but like, this team doesn't move. I think if he's gonna be gone, it'll probably be either trade deadline of next season or summer next year.
Talking about like trade deadline 24 or trade deadline 25?
Trade deadline 24.
Okay, all right. So this upcoming season.
Yeah,
right.
or summer 24.
All right.
I think that's when he'll kind of be out of there. But yeah, I think Philly's just gonna get worse from whatever they get back in return for Harden, and they kind of just have to. They're gonna have to prepare. Like, you're seeing the inevitable coming. Now you're gonna be saying yes to Embiid, to everything, because you want to keep him there, and you kind of see this is the downside to Daryl Morey. He gave everything to James Harden, and now it's biting him back. So we'll see what happens. I think Philly is going to be worse. I already thought the Knicks were better than the Sixers, but now I'm like confident.
I was about to say the
Like,
same thing, bro. As a Knicks fan, it sounds crazy that I'm not scared to go in a series with Philly.
Because realistically, right now, next year in the East, you still got Milwaukee, Boston, Miami, and I'm sorry, I'm not throwing Philly up there, because Philly was the third seed this year. I'm not putting them there. I'll probably put the Knicks or the Cavs there, and then I think Philly's gonna move back like 2-3 spots.
That Philly without Harden and Tobias Harris is gonna be literally like legitimately a 6th seed. That's gonna barely like escape the play-in right now. At this point, this is not a good team. Yeah, like you said, Maxey got potential, but let's be real. Maxey and Embiid, the best version of Maxey and Embiid is not scary at all. That's a team that gets washed in the first round, even by the Knicks. They get washed in the first round by the Cavs, you know? Like, at this point, it's crazy how far they've fallen. There's a team that's not made the conference finals yet with Embiid. Generational talent. You don't make one conference finals. All his rivals have made it to conference finals. You got Luka Doncic, who's been in the league for much less time, already been in the conference finals once. Embiid hasn't, and you know, part of it is on Embiid, but Embiid and the Sixers have failed the process. I think at this point, the process, like I said, after the playoff series, the process is dead. The process is dead, and at this point, you're just keeping it on life support, keeping Embiid around. But you know, Philly, the Knicks phone line is always open. I'm down to take Embiid. I'm more than willing to take Embiid.
Oh yeah,
Harden, I'm good on that.
We'll be happy to have you, my brother. You could come here, play 58 games.
We'll be fine too. 58 games.
Yeah, we'll be fine. 58 games, play 60 games, come back, play. Like, you could fuck around, come here, take all of March off.
Exactly, and we'll be good with Brunson.
Actually, fuck that. Take all of April off until the playoffs, and we'll be fine. We'll be good.
We'll be cooling with Brunson. You feel me?
Yeah.
We'll be cooling with Brunson. Brunson will keep us up. Good role guys will keep us up. Good coaching. Let's put a big emphasis on that. Good coaching compared to Doc Rivers will keep us up. You know? But another star is also in the news. Finally, in my honest opinion, 3-4 years too late. Finally, Portland is accepting trades for Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard has finally said, you know what? I want to get out of here. After year after year after year of playoff failure. And I say failure because it wasn't every year that you were running into the Warriors. You got smoked by the Pelicans. Smoked. Who else did they get smoked by, Justin? Realistically, they got smoked by the Pelicans, and who else? They got smoked by a couple of teams that weren't the Warriors.
They got smoked by the Spurs.
They got smoked by the Spurs. They got packed up.
They got smoked by the fucking Nuggets.
They got smoked by the Nuggets.
With no Jamal Murray. They were the favorites in that series too, I think.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Packed up by the Lakers.
Fucking Facundo Campazzo was on the team.
Yes, Campazzo was cooking you. Campazzo was legitimately cooking you. And after that, you didn't think...
I don't know if he was cooking, but I know he was on the team.
And it's like, look, let's get rid of Dame. That should have been time to get rid of Dame. When Dame was linked to the Lakers, blah, 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 before they traded for Russ, that was the time for trade for Dame. There's so many chances to trade Dame. And it feels like right now, you're selling really, not low, but for Damian Lillard standards, you're selling pretty damn low.
Nah, yeah.
Because you had so many chances.
I feel like his highest value would have been like either last summer or the summer before that, 2021.
Exactly.
I feel like that would have been the time to start looking at shit for Dame and to move off of him.
And it is a damn shame what Portland has done to Lillard in terms of roster construction after all he gave back to you guys. It is a shame. It is a crime, honestly. It's one conference finals appearance and what else? Nothing else. I'm sure, fine, he did better than Embiid, but still, nothing else. He's accomplished nothing else. It's a shame. It's a shame that after that Warriors series, they didn't think like, damn, let's ramp up. Let's get Dame really good pieces. Let's get CJ really good pieces. CJ, another guy that they waited so long to trade. They waited so damn long to trade CJ. They were just holding on, waiting for the stock to go up and just peak.
They traded him, last year, right?
Yes. It's like it took forever to get rid of these guys, and it's like, for what? For what? To just keep them around and keep getting bounced out in the second round. Maybe you make it to the conference finals, but you get smoked by the Warriors in a sweep. A sweep where the Warriors were fucking around with you, letting you take the lead until halftime, because they had the lead every single game, if I'm not mistaken. If not every, but most of the games in that sweep going into halftime.
And KD didn't even play that whole series.
KD wasn't even doing shit. And you got smoked, bro. You got packed up like crazy. And right now, it's looking like you can only trade him to Miami. So you have to kind of bend over and take whatever Miami gives you. Now, a trade that would work out for Miami and Portland, of course, see if you could get Tyler Hero out of it. But with Dame kind of saying like, look, I only want to play in Miami. I only want to play in Miami. I only want to play in Miami. You kind of handicapped yourself right now. You can't offer him to the rest of the league because they know that he only wants to be in Miami right now. So what's the point? You could take a chance if you're a random team. But what's the point? He wants to play with Jimmy Butler. He wants to play with Bam. So at this point, you're going to have to try your very damn best to at least be like, look, we need Tyler Hero minimum. Because Tyler Hero would be a really good addition to what the Trailblazers are trying to do, minus Jeremy Grant. But besides that, man, like in terms of Miami, this would be sweet. This would be sweet for them. Dame, Jimmy, and Bam, that team most likely is going back to the finals. And with a chance to win it. And in all honesty, that's what Dame deserves the most right now at this point in his career.
I think Portland has a lot of decisions to make now going forward. But the biggest decision they have to make is whether to do right by Dame or to do right by the franchise. Because you could give Dame what he wants and send him to Miami, but for Portland, they're looking at it like, okay, so we're going to be getting back Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson. No, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, or Kyle Lowry. So it's going to be definitely Tyler Hero or one of the other guys, and probably a 2027 pick and a 2029 pick. For a team like Miami, they're always in the playoff hunt, so those picks won't really mean shit. So Portland's probably looking at it like, I don't even know if that's the best package. We could do it just to say, hey, Dame, you did a lot for us. We're just going to reward you by sending you to the team you want to go. They could look at it like that, or they could be like, listen, you asked for a trade during your extension. You kind of fucked us. Like, if you really wanted to trade, you should have did it. You should have asked for it earlier. You should have been quicker with this shit. So fuck that. You kind of put us in a shitty position. They could just send them to somewhere where they get a better return. Because I know Brooklyn probably has the better package for him. It probably won't be the best. It's not a good. It's like Dame on Brooklyn. They're not doing shit. They're not doing shit at all. But
it's the same situation.
But Portland's probably looking at it like, damn, they got a lot of picks. They got a lot of picks, and Dame is what 33, or he's gonna be turning 33 in this month. So they'll probably look at it like that. Like, this team is what Dame, and Brooklyn already made it known we're not trading Mikal Bridges. They just extended Cam Johnson. So that team ceiling to me with Dame is probably like a fucking 6 seed. They're not really going to go anywhere. So that team might not even last that long. So for Portland, they're probably like, shit, we could get a lot of picks, and we could kind of just see in the future, just build off all these assets that we get back from them. So I guess it's really just on the front office and see what they're going to do. Because they could just do right by Dame, send him to Miami, get that return back of Tyler Hero, Duncan, or Lowry, and get those 2 late 2020 picks. Or you could send him to Brooklyn and get a big haul back in picks, and maybe you get like, I don't know, maybe you get Dorian Finney-Smith back or something. Get something like that just to add in, and you could commit way more to the rebuild. So we'll see. I think, yeah, Dame in Miami, they're contenders. Like, it's not even a question. We already 100%. See with Miami, with role guys, they're just saying, let's just get Dame, figure everything out, because they already lost out on Strus and Vincent. They're like, fuck it, we could just get an undrafted guy here, and he'll just be getting rotation minutes. So yeah, Dame to Miami is probably the best thing for him. But for Portland, the best thing is to see what the options are to get the best return back for Dame, because you don't want to. And at the end of the day, you're not gonna get equal value back for Dame. You're gonna have to accept that, but you're gonna want to get the most of what you can get left for Dame, if that makes sense.
No, I understand. And to be honest with you, I understand, like, as a franchise, you got to do what's best for you.
Yeah.
But look, man, you did Dame a disservice in like the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, the least you could do is send him to Miami. Just give him what he wants, and that's it. Who knows? Maybe karma comes back and helps you out for helping Dame out, you know? And I think Dame, even after he leaves, I think he's going to come back to Portland for like one last year, and that's it. So to definitely solidify that, do it for him. Do it for him, and definitely, like we both said, bring back Tyler Hero. Try your hardest, pull through tooth and nail to get Tyler Hero, because Tyler Hero, Scoot, Simons, Shaden Sharp, that's a really good core moving forward. That is more than building blocks. That's kind of, those are certain pieces that are going to be good no matter what. You might as well roll with that. That's the best thing you could do, because you need all the young players you could get at this point that are good, that are really good. I know you mentioned picks. I mean, picks would be cool, but in my honest opinion, I value young players that are kind of like a little bit more solidified, or you kind of know what they are, more than picks. Because picks could be anything. A pick could be as good as Tyler Hero, maybe picks, even better, but it could be worse.
Picks are only good if you know how to draft.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Portland, I mean, the drafts have been kind of questionable since Damian Lillard. You know, so I wouldn't trust Portland with picks. If I'm Portland, I wouldn't trust myself with picks.
I feel like they haven't had too many picks, because they've always just been like middle of the pack.
What about Zach Collins? That shit was terrible.
Oh, yeah, that was fucking horrible.
You've had a couple of bad picks.
I forgot
That's the first
about
one that came to mind. But Zach Collins with the 10th pick, that was terrible.
Yo, that was horrible.
That was
what the fuck?
These niggas cannot draft.
What the
Just
fuck?
Take a good young player that has potential.
How'd they even get the 10th pick that year?
They packaged like 2 picks they had or something, or their pick that year and a future pick for that pick, because they made.
Also, they moved up.
They moved up
to get Zach Collins.
To get Zach Collins. They moved up to get Zach Collins. That's how it was. But guys, that wraps it up for J&J for the day. Justin, as I always point to you, quick little housekeeping.
I was gonna say, before we go, do you have any favorite Dame moments before he gets out of here?
I mean, there's really only, respectfully, there's really only, there's 2. I take that back. The shot over Paul George, because you know how I feel over Paul George, and it embarrassed him. It embarrassed Paul George. He said, bye-bye, shot it from half court. It's that or the Houston shot, but I just remember that. That shot over Paul George, where Paul George was bitching after. Oh, that's a lucky ass shot. That's a lucky shot. Oh, well, you got sent home with a half court 3. That's my favorite Damian Lillard moment.
I think my favorite Dame moment, that whole series against Houston in 2014, that shit was crazy.
It was.
That was his second year in the league, and he was really cooking everybody. And I remember LaMarcus Aldridge was cooking too. But I think my favorite Dame moment is probably, it would either be his first game in the NBA because they played the Lakers, or it'll probably be later on in his rookie year when they played the Lakers again, and him and Kobe were going at it, and I think he gave him like 37, and Kobe dropped like 47 that game, and he was like, "Yo, Dame Lillard is the truth."
He is.
He said that Dame's rookie year. So yeah, those would probably be my two favorite Dame moments. But yeah, to wrap up the show, housekeeping. If you guys are listening on audio platforms, please give us 5 stars. Please leave a like. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe. It's going up. The Instagram page is at the JJ Podcast 1. It's going up as well. Extra clips, longer clips. We got more stuff, more stories and stuff like that. And the TikTok, don't forget, at the J&J Podcast is going up. We finally hit 100 followers, so that's a good thing. We're going up every day, posting clips from the pod, posting stuff in the car, posting takes, stuff like that. But yeah, we appreciate you guys. We're going to keep going up.
We will see you guys next time, man. Most definitely. We're always going to be here. Peace.
Yes, sir.